What's up and welcome in. You're about to watch a fresh Locked On Bulls. I'm Matt. That's Big Dave. Up ahead on today's program, the NBA General Managers Survey that they do every year has been released. Lots of nooks and crannies that involve the Bulls to get into there. Some praise, maybe some digs or some slights, depending on who you ask. We'll kick off with that. We also got some updates on Lonzo Ball's contract specifics from ESPN's Bobby Marks. We'll talk about those and the bonus incentives in that Lonzo deal. And we'll wrap up the show with a fond look back on the short but impressive tenure of Pau Gasol. Spent 2 years with the Bulls, officially announced his retirement earlier today. That's all ahead on a fresh Lock Bulls. Let's go.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Here are your hosts, Matt Peck and Big Dave Watson.
What's up and welcome into Locked On Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm Matt Peck. You can follow me on that Twitter machine at Bulls_Peck. You can follow my co-host Big Dave at Bow, BAWL Sports. You can follow us at Locked On Bulls. You can also email us, lockedonbulls@gmail.com. And that text to voicemail line is there for you too, Bulls fans, at 331-979-1369. Thanks for making Locked On Bulls your first listen in your line of podcasts every day. Check out all the great podcasts available in that Locked On podcast family, Chicago and otherwise. Big Dave, as we record this Tuesday afternoon, we are just a few hours away from the Bulls preseason opener. We saw a huge fun slate of NBA preseason games last night, but because we are playing the Cavs, and I know it's a home game, not in Cleveland, I still felt impulsed to rock my Joakim "Nobody Goes to Cleveland on Vacation" t-shirt. I had to.
Look, Matt, I fault nobody for anything they want to wear today, or how they're feeling, or whatever's going on, man. We've waited a long time for this day. And we're still not there, but we're there. So it's good to see this preseason action. I am excited. I should not be this excited for preseason action, but I am very excited to watch this.
Yeah, so this episode will probably be dropping just before tip-off, so you're listening to it after the game. Maybe stick around for tomorrow's episode when we will break down everything about this Bulls-Cavs game that we have on deck later tonight. But as I said in the intro, Dave, some fun stuff to talk about today. The NBA GM survey was released earlier today, and there is a weird combination of Bulls positivity and Bulls pessimism.
Yeah.
Which is weird because the survey is taken by the same group of people. 30 NBA general managers, right? All filled out this survey. There are questions and answers that make it seem like they can't make up their mind on what the Bulls are going to be this year, which, okay, I guess that's fair. I think a lot of people think the wide range of possibilities the Bulls have as far as their results, it's because there are a lot of new pieces and a lot of unknowns, right?
Yeah, a lot of new pieces. You don't know. It's like they want to, but then they don't. What is that movie, man? Oh, I know the movie. I think it was Step Brothers, when he's trying to hug his brother, but he can't, and they just end up punching each other. Right.
Yeah.
It was like that. Like, I love you, give me a hug. And he's trying to hug, he's just pushing him away, fighting him. Like, it's that.
Isn't like there's also like they've started digging a grave in the ground in their yard, and they're trying to bury each other into it or something like that?
Yes. Yeah. It's like that. Yeah, it's exactly like that.
You get in.
No, you get right.
All right, so here's the first thing. This is just how the GMs see Eastern Conference standings breaking down in this upcoming season. Brooklyn at 1, Milwaukee at 2. No real surprises there. They've got Miami with the 3rd seed, Philly 4, Atlanta 5, Boston 6, Indiana 7. Oh. So they don't even get to 8, 9, and 10. They don't even get to the rest of the play-in.
I don't care about you.
Big Dave, I mean, I can understand that Chicago doesn't come ahead of any of those teams, 4, 5, 6, and 7, Philly, Atlanta, Boston, Indiana. But I also think that there is a very decent shot that the Bulls leapfrog at least one of those teams. We don't know what's
Yeah.
going to happen with Ben Simmons. If he just
True.
sits out, they are a less talented team. I
Yeah.
don't know what's going to happen with Boston. And Indiana is the one to me, Dave, that I've seen a lot this offseason steadily ranked ahead of the Bulls. And I'm like, what did they do? Like, yeah, okay, no offense to our pal John's old friend, Rick Carlisle, who they brought back to be their coach.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, yeah, they have Sabonis, they have Turner, they have some but, like, did they add the level of talent that the Bulls added this offseason?
No, not too many teams did. And yeah, Matt, that's the interesting part to me. Like, okay, you can argue me about 5 or even 6 of those teams. But once you get talking about Indiana, that's when I'm like, all right, stop. Like, like we got to stop this now. All right. Stop. Like, just cut that out. Pump the brakes. I think, Matt, you said it best. After those first 3 teams, everything else is kind of a crapshoot. You just really don't know. And by those 3, you mean actually I think it was 2 you said, and everything else is a crapshoot. Yeah, it was those
Brooklyn,
2 teams.
Milwaukee.
Right. Yeah, and everything else is up for grabs. Like everything else is like, what do you want to do? It should be Philly, but like you said with Ben Simmons, we don't know. It should be Miami, but we don't know. Even though I watched them in the preseason and they looked together, they looked awesome and they really looked good. So I wouldn't be surprised at them having that high seed. Atlanta, we know what Atlanta did. We saw how good they were. They didn't get worse. You know what I mean? Like, why would they fall off?
Right.
They had some experience, so they got better. Who else they have ahead? They said Boston. Really? Like it's really like I'm so worried about Dennis Schroeder now. Like, come on, man. Like, I don't. That's where I get confused, man. Like all those other, I feel that, but once you get to talking about Indiana and Boston, and speak of it, with assuredness, you know what I'm saying? Like you're like, yeah, this is it. Those teams are gonna like, why? Like, what did they do to show you that they were that good? And we're gonna be down there with Charlotte, fighting for 8-9 seeds, and things like that. So I just don't get it. You got a team. We got a team with 3 guys who can score 20, and you got multiple all-stars on your team. And you got a really awesome point guard on your squad, and you got an up-and-coming young player all in your starting lineup. Oh, and then you boasted up your bench play, and then you added depth at the most coveted position in the NBA, which is the wing. Right. So I don't see how that makes you 8 or 9. I just don't. I don't see it, and I hope the Bulls come out here and slap a couple people across the face with their play.
Yeah, that's what I hope too. Then there are a bunch of questions about individual players in the NBA. Obviously most likely to win MVP and things like that. Then they break it down best player by position 1 through 5. And no surprises really to me that no Bulls players were mentioned in best player by position anywhere, with going as deep as the top 4 or 5 vote getters in each category. The 2 Bulls players that I saw in the individual player categories in this GM survey was Lonzo Ball receiving votes in the also received votes category for most likely breakout candidate player in 21-22. Interesting breakout player, Jaren Jackson Jr. of Memphis took the award. Anthony Edwards 2, Michael Porter Jr. 3, Garland 4. Then you have Keldon Johnson, Morant, Kevin Porter Jr. All finishing ahead, and then Lonzo also receiving votes. And then the other one, the de facto, we all knew he was going to show up there. Who's the most athletic player in the NBA? Guess who comes in at number 4? It's our guy, Zach LaVine, and his new teammate, Derek Jones Jr. in the also receiving votes category.
Oh, nice. That is very nice as well. I don't know. And when it comes to that kind of stuff, Matt, I just like the fact that they're mentioned. I don't get too mad about individual stuff like that. Because, I'm like, yeah, that's opinion. So you can see that and you're like, okay, yeah, I can see that argument. I can understand why you feel that individually, whether you feel they're here or whether you feel they're here, whether you feel they're high or whether you feel they're low. I can see an argument for it individually. It's the team stuff that kind of gets me, but it's good though that Lonzo's mentioned as a breakout kind of guy, because I think for the first time in his career, he's really in the situation he truly wants to be in, and is in the right situation for his skill set, and the right situation for what he does best, and the right situation for him mentally as well, and has the right coach. All of that wrapped up into one. So all the excuses for him have been removed, in my opinion. So now
Right.
it's time for him to show and prove. And the fact that the league feels like he should be showing and proving, that's good. I feel that's a good thing to be mentioned in that category, for real.
Now we get to the fun, juicy parts of this GM survey, and that is the umbrella of off-season moves categories.
Mm-hmm.
We will get to
Oh,
that in just a
juicy.
second because there's a lot of Bulls stuff that's in there that's interesting. Also, I want to talk about what the Bulls got votes for compared to what the Heat got votes for because it's weird to me. So we will do that in just a minute. Before we do that, though, I want to tell y'all that we have a new sponsor for this week and today's episode, and that is Shopify, the all-in-one commerce platform to start, run, and grow your business. Shopify gives entrepreneurs the resources once reserved for big business, so upstarts, startups, established businesses alike can all sell everywhere, synchronize online and in-person sales, and effortlessly stay informed. Scaling your business is a journey of endless possibility. Shopify powers over 1.7 million businesses from first sale to full scale. Reach customers online and across social networks with an ever-growing suite of channel integration and apps, including Facebook and Instagram. I guess they're back up now. TikTok, Pinterest, and more. Gain insights as you grow with detailed reporting of conversion rates, profit margins, and beyond. It's more than a store. Shopify grows with you. This is possibility powered by Shopify. So here's what you do. Go to shopify.com/lockedonnba, all lowercase, Locked On NBA, for a free 14-day trial and get full access to Shopify's entire suite of features. Grow your business with Shopify today. Again, that's go to shopify.com/lockedonnba, all lowercase, right now. Shopify.com/lockedonnba.
Yeah, y'all, a question out there, because this might sound familiar to you. So let me speak for myself. Let's say you're sitting around, and you got your device and, you want to watch the Bulls game. But then you're like, man, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is in the final season. I want to watch that too.
No
Like,
spoilers.
No spoilers. No spoilers. Shout out Doug Judy. But then you're looking around and then you say, man, I do want to watch some highlights. I want to see Wendell Carter Jr. get dunked on again. So you want to see all these things. And you're like, oh, man, but I got to borrow my neighbor's best friend's login. Oh, man, what was his daughter's name again? I think that she was part of the password. You got to juggle all this stuff and do all this just to watch all these cool things. Well, you ain't got to do that no more, guys. No more. It's over. And you know why? Because Direct TV Stream is here, and it brings you your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before, so you can watch all your favorite sports, your favorite movies, and your favorite shows all in one place. No more juggling remotes and no need to buy another device ever again. And the best part, ladies and gentlemen, get close for this. There's no annual contract. No annual contract. Get rid of all that clutter. Get rid of all that confusion and get your TV together with Direct TV Stream. You can learn more at directtv.com. That's directtv.com. Compatible device required. Content varies by package.
All right, moving on. Let's get to some of these off-season moves categories of the NBA GM survey that we were talking about here on today's show. Which team made the best overall moves this offseason? Guess who's number one? It's the Miami Heat with 47% of the overall votes.
Okay.
Followed by the Lakers with 17%, Brooklyn Nets 7%, Rockets also 7%, Wizards 7%. So tie for third there. And then first among the also receiving votes is our Chicago Bulls, along with the Knicks, Thunder, Suns, and Blazers. So Big Dave, this is best overall moves, not best single move, best overall moves. Overwhelmingly, the GMs of the league said Miami Heat. And clearly, as we will get to the next category, a lot of that has to do with them getting Kyle Lowry.
Sure. I'm not mad at that. Getting Kyle Lowry is a big move. Getting Morris was a good move. Oladipo on their team now. That's another good move.
PJ Tucker, that's a solid pickup.
It's a
veteran,
very solid pickup.
Playoff experience out the wazoo.
Yeah. Everybody they got kind of fits their culture and how they roll. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not mad at any of them thinking that's a great move because those are really, really good moves. Not mad at the Miami Heat being there. Not even really mad about the Lakers either. You picked up Russell Westbrook. Come on. Like, that's an excellent move. Put him with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And yeah, let me throw in Carmelo Anthony in there just to boot. Let me throw in Malik Monk while I'm at it. Like, if you're in exactly.
I can't wait to watch that circus tent catch on fire this season. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Make sure you guys get your packages, man, because I'm sure have because I won't be watching front and center, baby. But then you lose me after that. Because when you were going, I just knew after that you were going to say, okay, the Bulls, fine. All right, wait, what? The who? And then you said the Wizards. And I said, all right, man, what are we doing now, guys? What are we doing?
Like, how is it that the Lakers can get credit for the Westbrook trade, but seemingly here the Wizards are also getting credit for getting rid of Westbrook? Because that's what's happening here.
You lose Westbrook and you go get our guy from Brooklyn, Dinwiddie, and I'm like, okay, like, all right. So DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, and Caruso, nothing to you, right? That's just no kind of move. That's nothing. All right.
You also got Derrick Jones Jr. and a first-round draft pick for Lauri Markkanen, who nobody wanted.
You did 4 signing trades to get this to happen. 4 signing trades to get this to happen. All while being under investigation for tampering, ladies and gentlemen. All of this while doing that. And all of this when nobody even knew that you were in the running to get anybody except for Lonzo. Explain this to me. This doesn't make sense. See, again, Matt, it's not the individual stuff that gets under my skin. It's this team stuff. Because there's no way you can look at this team and say, nah, that's okay. And it's kind of it's weird, Matt. Like, they're trying to give us a hug, but they're punching us at the same time. Like, it's so strange. It's so weird to me, man. And I need some further explanation on this because it doesn't make any sense that the Bulls aren't at least top 5 as far as moves that were made this offseason. That makes no sense, man. None.
All right. Well, if you're confused now, but wait, there's more.
Oh, God.
Which one player acquisition will make the biggest impact? Continuing the trend from the previous category, Kyle Lowry, Miami, 77% of the votes. Biggest impact. Number 2, Russell Westbrook. Okay. Lakers, 17% of the vote. Also received votes. This is where it gets real weird. Spencer Dinwiddie to Washington and Jonas Valanciunas to New Orleans. No mention of DeMar, no mention of Lonzo there. And also, I guess it doesn't say which player acquisition will make the best impact. It just says biggest. So Westbrook going to the Lakers and the Lakers exploding could theoretically still qualify as the biggest impact. But, I mean, 77%?
This is so strange. Like, this is so weird. I think the Kyle Lowry move is good too. I like Kyle Lowry. He's awesome, man.
I don't think it's as good as everyone's making it out to be, man.
He's a good fit, but he fits them. I think they're looking at that, Matt. Like the fit that he provides. He's an upgrade from Dragic. Like, he is definitely an upgrade from Dragic. So they're looking, I think this is just my opinion. I think they're looking at it like, okay, even with Dragic, they still went to the finals. Like, so if you upgrade from Dragic and you get Kyle Lowry, who's super legitimate with a ring, that's, like I like your team, putting him with Jimmy Butler and stuff like that. So, but you got to play. We'll see if they'll be able to hold up over the season because Kyle Lowry definitely gets hurt a lot. And, Oladipo definitely has an injury history also as well. So on paper, looking at it, I can see that. But again, I'm not looking for a number 1 or even number 2. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even looking for, I understand that. But just don't be disrespectful is all I'm saying. And you're being disrespectful. Completely disrespectful.
Jonas Valanciunas.
Come on, man.
Look, and I'm not trying to rag on him and saying he's trash. Like he's a good player.
He is. He's very good.
He's going to have a bigger impact on the Pelicans than DeMar and or Lonzo are going to have on the Bulls? Like what?
That's wild. That's a wild statement to make, man. And then I'm trying to save this. I don't know where else you're going because there's one more thing I saw, but I'm going to wait because you might go there.
Okay, so next is most underrated player acquisition. Underrated, not have the biggest impact, but underrated. Here's where we finally get a little bit of the Bulls.
Okay.
We've got Lonzo in at number 4. behind 3, Dinwiddie again, 2,
Mhm.
Patty Mills to Brooklyn, and 1, Larry Nance to Portland. I would have had Patty Mills number 1 on that list. We'll see if
Mm.
Nance Jr. really helps out the Blazers all that much. But I
Yeah.
don't really have a whole lot of issues with those top 4, with Lonzo included. Kemba
Mhm.
came in at number 5 going to the Knicks. And then
Mhm.
both Caruso and DeRozan were among the other vote getters of most underrated player acquisition. So there's plenty of Bulls love in there. And I don't really have a huge issue with any of those. What about you?
See, that's easy though, Matt. That's backhanded stuff. That's easy because when you're talking about, oh man, this is the best, this is on top, this is all, then you get slighted. But then when you're talking underrated, the kitty table stuff, you're
Right.
like, oh yeah, let's slide. Yeah, of course. Hey guys, you made some cute moves. This is gonna be great. You guys are
Right.
gonna be awesome and you'll be fun and stuff like that. Yeah, that's a slap. That's a slap. I take it as a slight. I take that one
Right.
as a slight. I do.
So here's the last category. Maybe this is the one that you were talking about a minute ago that I wanted to talk about. Which
Mhm.
team will be the most improved in
Bing!
21-22?
Bing! That's the
Coming
one.
in at number 1 with 27% of the total votes, Chicago Bulls.
What? What? This makes no sense. None. This makes 0 sense. You just tell me that we don't make the best moves. You just told me you don't like the stuff that we've done. They're okay. You just told me we made some moves that are like maybe the 4th most underrated moves in the offseason, but yet we'll be the most improved team in the NBA. Make it make sense.
Didn't even come in top 5 in the best overall moves of the offseason. And yet, they will be the most improved team because of their offseason moves.
Oh. And yeah, they won't be in the top 7 of seedings either. They won't be in the top 7 of seeding, but this is the most improved team. What do y'all think the Bulls were? Like last year, like, my God, what do you think they were? Were they the worst team in the league or something? Y'all just like, well, most improved mean we said y'all might be tied for 8th or something like that. That's most improved from where y'all at. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. We would have been in the play-in game if it wasn't for COVID.
Right.
My gosh, man. Matt, this makes no sense. I'm sorry. This makes no sense. 0. I'm sorry.
That's the part that really just like I read it and I just laughed. I was like,
Yeah.
how is this the same group of people voting on something? It's like, was this actually not did they mix up the NBA GM survey and the entire like population of Florida trying to vote on anything? Is that what happened here?
I just don't get it. Like, if I could understand where they're coming from on this, I would get it. Like, yeah, you did. Yeah, you got all A's. Yep, you did all that. Sorry, you can't go to college. Like, wait, what? But I did what Isaiah Thomas said. I fit the criteria.
Right. I had met the criteria, but I wasn't selected.
That's what he's doing here.
So clearly, I mean, I guess in the eyes of some, the Heat and all the moves they made this offseason, with obviously move 1A, star-studded, highlight of getting Kyle Lowry, to them made the Heat the best offseason because it perhaps took them from we are kind of a contender to now we might actually threaten Brooklyn and or Miami if all these moves work out that way. Whereas the Bulls might have a higher jump in wins from last season to this season than, say, the Miami Heat do. But if Miami Heat go from quasi-contender to real contender, maybe that's why some GM said, hey, the Lowry addition and all the moves they made around it made the Heat a real threat in the East, whereas the Bulls had a nice offseason, and they're definitely going to be better, but because it's lower stakes than supposedly Miami's offseason, it's not as impressive.
Okay, I see that point. But again,
and I'm not saying that's how I feel. I'm saying that's how I could maybe see some people analyzing how they cast their votes in this survey.
Right, I see that. But again, you lose me when you continue. See, the Heat have a pattern on theirs. You know what I'm saying? Most best pickups in offseason. We're going to have you third, you know what I'm saying, going into the seedings. You know, we feel you guys done all these things. There's a pattern along this for the Heat that goes like this, man. Like it's a steady line that goes with the Bulls, man. Just up and down here. Like, you're good, you suck. Oh, you're good? No, you suck. And there's no consistency to what you're saying about the Chicago Bulls. And that's the issue I got right here. It's not consistent. The Heat, you're consistent in what you believe and who you think they're going to be and what you think Kyle Lowry and all those moves are going to do for them. You're not consistent in what you're saying about the Chicago Bulls. And that's where we're like, dude, this is not mathing right now. Your math ain't mathing.
This is not mathing.
Not mathing, man.
All right, we've got to move on. It is fun, though, to see those NBA surveys come out before every season starts. But, I mean, you want to know the best part about this NBA GM survey that we just spent 25 minutes? Gar didn't get a vote. That's the best part. It's the best part of all of this. We know that of the 30 people who participated in this survey, Gar Forman was not one of them. And boy, does that make me happy.
We love making Matt happy here. Bulletin board material, Bulls. Let's go.
Exactly. Speaking of making me happy, you know what would make me happy, Big Dave, is if you could tell me and all of our listeners how they can make some money, maybe, playing some sports gambling stuff.
Well, you'll come to the right place, ladies and gentlemen, to find out where you can find that out at. And that place is called Bet Online, because they are back and they are better than ever, guys, with the updated site and interface with even more odds, props, and contests. Bet Online continues to be your number one source for everything football. Everything. So you head to the website, you use your mobile device to sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. I said percent welcome bonus on your first deposit. Now, don't forget to use that promo code. It's locked on. I repeat, the promo code is locked on. Make sure you use that to receive your bonus. Guys, football, basketball, boxing, Vegas casino games, tennis, it don't matter. Don't wait. Take advantage of all the amazing offers that are available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and the easiest way to bet all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. Sports.
Thank you, Dave. Moving on, we won't spend too much time on this, but just wanted to touch on it quickly, and we'll give you the quick rundown in case you don't have the ESPN Plus access. Bobby Marks, a lot of his stuff is behind the paywall. He had something out on Tuesday morning that's interesting, kind of going over a lot of the players this upcoming season who have different big money stakes when it comes to various incentives in their contracts, either an upcoming impending free agency kind of contract or their current deals that they just signed. So Zach LaVine, among a group of names with the likes of Devin Booker, Karl Anthony Towns, who could be in line for a huge payday if they make all NBA this upcoming season. And Big Dave, I think you and I had maybe talked about that at some point this offseason when we were talking about Zach's, big picture contract scenario coming in. Before we knew whether or not the Bulls would sign him to an extension. They did not. He's about to come into the final year of his current deal and then be in line for a big payday. Big shift if he gets all NBA. And man, if he gets all NBA, I'll be thrilled. I know you'll be thrilled. I don't see that as very likely considering the amazing depth of star guards that are in the NBA right now.
Yes, Matt. I hear you. But I think we're in agreement that it's not out of the realm of possibility just because of how good Zach LaVine has been, because his numbers have been comparable with those guards, but the only issue is his wins have not. So now the wins are going to catch up. So I think more eyes are definitely on him. As you've seen with the Clutch Sports, I think he's switching shoe brands too, Matt. I really do. I think he's going with Nike now because his contract is up with Adidas, and the pictures I've seen him in, he's had on Nike. So I just want to point that out to y'all. So I think and Clutch Sports is Nike pretty much. Like let's be real. That's what it is. So I think he's gonna be there. But with all of that, all those eyes on him, you know what I'm saying, getting all that, I think it just bolsters his chances of being all NBA if he gets out there and does what we expect him to do. Because a lot of the stuff that he's going to get, Matt, has been stuff that he's deserved. But because of the situations as far as the losing is concerned, he just hasn't been able to reap those benefits. Like that All-Star was just something he deserved. He should have had it the year before, but he just didn't have the victories, you know what I'm saying, to say this is why it should be there. So I would not be shocked if he makes All NBA at all. I would not be shocked if he makes like third team All NBA or something like that, because what it will also mean is the Bulls are really, really good. That's also what that would mean. So I think we're pulling for it, but it's Matt's right. It's deep. It's deep as far as guards are concerned in this league, man. But I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility at all for Zach LaVine to be on that level.
If it's certainly not possible. If his stats and usage comes down a touch, but his efficiency stays where it was last season, and the Bulls win 15 more games than they did last season, it's certainly possible. The more interesting stuff, though, from this Bobby Marks was about Lonzo Ball, one of the newcomers. And this is what Marks had with the details of Lonzo's contract, because when we got that word about the Bulls and Lonzo's deal, we heard that there were some incentives in there and that not all of that money was coming right to Lonzo, and that some of it would have been incentive based and would have to earn certain plateaus for certain bonuses. So here's what we got from Marks on Lonzo. Of the $18.6 million salary this year, Ball has 9 sets of incentives in his contract, valued anywhere from $100,000 to $200,000, and could earn a total of $1 million in incentive bonuses. If he hits that capped incentive number, Ball would jump into the top 15 of point guard salaries this season, eclipsing the Raptors' Goran Dragic, who's due $19.4 million. Each of these 9 bonuses are first tied into Ball playing 62 or more games this season, a mark he has met once in his first 4 years in the league. Interesting note there.
That's true.
The second hurdle is based on individual success, like all defense, all NBA, all star, and team success, wins, and reaching at a minimum the second round of the playoffs. So here are the 9 incentives laid out in Lonzo's contract. All defensive team or all defensive second team, he'll get one of those bumps. All NBA first, second, or third team, he'll get a bump. All-star team, he'll get a bump. And then percentage of teams' games played, including postseason games, above 80% of those games, and the team reaches the conference finals, he will get a significant bonus. Same thing, 80 or more percent of teams' games played, including postseason, and the team reaches the NBA finals, he gets a different bonus. Percentage of teams' games played, again, 80% or higher, and the team reaches the conference semis, a different bonus. And then 2 different ones for just regular season wins, one at 48 and one at 54. And then the last one, Chicago finishes the regular season as one of the top 4 seeds in the East. So I think you can look at that, Big Dave, and say 2 of those seem certainly possible. Maybe the most likely possibility is 48 wins. I mean, as far as like, does he play in at least 80% of their games, and do the Bulls make the conference semis? Not impossible, but I wouldn't say most people would be putting money on both of those things to happen. What, if anything, jumps out to you and all of these different incentives that Lonzo has built into his contract?
The main one for me, man, is the all defensive one there. Because that's
like
the one. That's the one I could definitely see him making for sure. Like if you had to put my feet to the fire and say which one is he making, it would be that one, all defense. Because if he can do anything, that dude can play defense. If his jumper isn't working, if he has a few more turnovers that game or something like that, he's still guarding your best player. He's still guarding your point guard. He's still wreaking havoc on that other end of the floor, which is what keeps him on the floor, which will help his incentives. Because you're right. I think it's, and I don't mean this at cruel. I'm just talking about the numbers here. It's not wrong to say that he wouldn't play that many games this season, just judging off of the past of where we're going by. Because the only year, I believe, was the first year in New Orleans when he played about 63 or 64 games or something like that. Yeah, so it's not incorrect, because I think the next year, even though it was a strike show, I think he played 55 if I'm not mistaken. The next year, but he's been injured. This is the bottom line of what I'm saying about all this. He's been hurt, And so I don't think that's crazy to say, yeah, he won't hit that. I really don't think he wouldn't, to be honest, this year, Matt. I'm just going off of hope right now, and just how good the season feels to me that he would, and plus, not having Tanaka there, I think it would be a different feel about, him being hurt and, him not being injured or anything like that. But yeah, all defensive jumps out at me, Matt. It really does. All defense jumps out at me because I think that is definitely within his grasp. That is definitely a brass ring that he can grab, and something that would be great for him to have under his belt for sure.
It truly would. So here is Lonzo's games played broken down by season. 17-18, 52 of 82. 18-19, 47 of 82. 19-20, the COVID shortened season, he played 63, which is probably close to almost all of them based on where people's schedules got cut off there. Although they did go to the bubble and they didn't do anything. They looked like crap, but they did go to the bubble. So 63 games in the COVID 19-20 season. And then of 72 games last season with the Pelicans, 55. So that 80% or more of your team's games played, that might be a little, issue there for Lonzo if he wants to reach some of those incentives. But I love your idea of, hey man, if there's one of those right now that Lonzo should set as a goal for himself, I want to get that bonus as part of my contract. I'm going to go try and make all defensive second team, probably not anywhere remotely in the kind of all NBA first team conversation or all defense first team conversation. Maybe he could sneak in a second team. I mean, for crying out loud, Chris Dunn got a second team defense vote, I think, 2 years ago before the Bulls set him on his merry way.
Oh, man.
Anything is possible. All right. So there's that in case you were curious about Bobby Marks' latest contract stuff and couldn't see it yourself. Wanted to provide that for you. Last thing on the agenda, Big Dave. A salute and a tip of the cap to Pau Gasol. Officially called it a career on Tuesday. 19 NBA seasons that saw, let's see here, 2 NBA championships, obviously, with the Lakers, back-to-back with Kobe, 6 All-Star appearances, 4 All-NBA appearances, all rookie and rookie of the year, not to mention his countless accolades in international basketball.
Absolutely. Tons of medals.
Pau was seen as a consolation prize, much like Carlos Boozer in the summer of 2010. The Bulls thought they were getting Carmelo Anthony. Then Carmelo Anthony, for whatever reason, chickened out, wanted the more money, whatever, decided to stay with the Knicks. Pau Gasol, it was kind of a wonky fit. Didn't really ever figure out how to play him and Joakim together with both of them at the height of their, usefulness. But even still, those Bulls teams, 14-15 in particular, Pau Gasol was not only an all-star, but that was one of his 4 all-NBA selections spanning his entire career. He made all-NBA 3 times as a Laker, and he did it as a Bull. And he also was an all-star his second season, 15-16. That 15 season, Bulls lose to LeBron and the Cavs in the conference semifinals. There's the last time that this Bulls team was semi-decent and interesting. Pau Gasol was a big part of the reason for that. The man averaged 18 and a half and 11 and a half, and then 16 and a half and 11. Also, displaying his passing ability, 2.7 assists per in his first Bull season, 4.1 assists per his second Bull season. Consummate professional, great for the locker room, and it was just 2 years and a huge NBA career, but I think Pau doesn't get maybe as much credit as he deserves for the 2 short seasons he spent with the Bulls.
Oh, I completely agree with that, Matt. I loved Pau Gasol's time here. I really did. I enjoyed watching him play basketball. I loved how much he hit that corner 3. I just see that pop up in my head so many times. Him hitting that corner 3 all the time.
That Pau shot.
That Pau. Yes. Cash. It was cash, man. And I love when people say those things, man, about the fit and all those other things about him. And then I'm like, man, if a fit gets you 2 All-Stars and an All-NBA here, sign me up. You know what I'm saying? For that kind of fit on my team. I'll take that every day of the week. And he got what was so impressive about his All-NBA, because it was second team, by the way. He was second team All-NBA. That's super impressive. What was impressive about it, Matt, was nobody was expecting it. When he went to the Bulls, like you said, it was the consolation prize. Nobody was like, yeah, you'll have another boozer kind of season. No,
right.
He did not. That dude balled out. You hear me? I remember the first game. I can't remember if it was his first season or second season when they played. I think it was the first season when they played Cleveland. And on the final play of the game, because it was on TNT, the final play of the game when LeBron James goes up to score, Pau Gasol is right there to reject that joint and toss it right out of bounds. It was the game-winning block, and that won the game for the Chicago Bulls and set the tone kind of for them that season, man. Pau Gasol was awesome for the Chicago Bulls. I don't want people to get that misconstrued. He went to the All-Star game back-to-back. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't no joke. He was zero jokes out here. I remember the triple-double game that he had. I mean, he was just awesome. He could do so many things on the floor, man. And I love watching him because for me, Matt, he never looked out of place, even though he couldn't find the fit with Joakim Noah. And I think it was more so Noah trying to find out where his fit was, more so than Powell, because I think Powell knew where he fit. But Joe was trying to find his, because remember, Joe was used to offense running through him as well.
Right.
So he was trying to find, what is my role here now? Do you just need me to grab rebounds? Do you want me to score? Like, what do I do here? What am I figuring out? They worked it out down the line because it got them to a playoffs, like you said, Matt. Like, and it was the last good playoff team that the Bulls had here. You know what I'm saying? It was the last good one that they had.
It was the last playoff team the Bulls had, because we all know that the alpha season doesn't count.
Well, nah, in your head, Matt, no. Yeah, but I'm going to go with facts.
Happened.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the facts on this one, that it definitely occurred and it definitely went down. Yes. Rondo.
I think I neuralized myself after that playoff series.
I need to see your neural. I'm a little scared of what you zap yourself with, Matt. Like, I'm a little terrified. I think if I ask Matt anything from that year, he's gonna be like, "Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about." Like, he said it to stun.
That entire year is just a blank in my memory.
But no, man, you're right. He was and the things he was like off the court. I mean, he was a consummate professional. I mean, how many times did we see him like at the art museum, or he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to watch the Chicago Symphony Orchestra," or "Yeah, I'm going to watch this new play that's in town." Like, he's very cultured, you know what I'm saying, human being, man. Like, just he's what you want on your team. Like, and he was just great, like just a great person, and he just fit nicely as far as within the confines of the city. But he was good. I really enjoyed Pau Gasol's time here, man, and he definitely exceeded my expectations, especially that first year of what he was going to be for this Chicago Bulls team, man. So I ain't got nothing but respect for that, man, for real.
Right. And you said fit and him kind of proving, hey, man, I'm Pau Gasol. Like, I'm going to come in and I'm going to prove that I still am playing at a high level in this league. I'm one of the best big men in this league. Like, fit be damned. I don't care if I'm a consolation prize, whatever. That immediately makes me think of, as we look ahead to this season, Pau Gasol played at ages 34 and 35 in his 2 seasons with the Bulls. People said, he's washed up, he's old, the fit's not good. People are saying that about DeMar DeRozan right now.
They are.
And he just turned 32.
Yes.
And like the same thing. Fit, like, shut up about fit. So if Pau Gasol could come to the Bulls as a free agent in age 34 of his career and make 2 All-Star teams and an All-NBA team, what's to say DeMar can't do that in his age 32 season? Like,
I don't see why not. Like, yeah, man. Like, no. Yes, listen, we gonna be nice this year. Let me just say, we're gonna be nice. But real quick on Pau Gasol, Matt, I also want to say, for me, like, he was the last free agent that I think chose the Bulls, because I don't think Boozer chose the Bulls like that. He knew whoever LeBron and then went, that's where he was going. He knew where he was going after that. Pau took less money to come here. He said Joakim Noah recruited me to come here. So that means he chose to come here. Right. So it wasn't like, it wasn't a money grab, at all. You know what I mean? Right. It was No, I think I want to go there, and I think I would like to play there. He was the last big name free agent I know of that did that for the Chicago Bulls until DeMar DeRozan did it here. So
that's a 7-year span. That's a
that's a
7-year
long
span.
time, y'all. A long time. 7 years. Some of y'all had kids right now. 7. 7. That's a long time, dog. My God. But yeah, he was the last one, man. He was.
And then he went to San Antonio and still put up some decent numbers with the Spurs for a few years. The guy was
got a triple-double in San Antonio.
I mean, Hall of Famer without a doubt. First ballot Hall of Famer without a doubt. Will probably go down as one of the best big men that the league has ever seen. And a consummate professional through some turbulent years while he was here with the Bulls. So congrats to Pau on a great career. Hope he enjoys retirement, doing all the fun cultural things that he loves to do now that he's not, icing his knees every night. Congrats to him. That's it. We're out of here. We've got to go get ready for a Bulls-Cavs preseason tip-off game. We'll see what Billy Donovan does with the lineup tonight with not only no Patrick Williams, no Kobe White. We could be looking at no Derrick Jones Jr. and no Tony Bradley, who both have a couple of nicks and bruises from training camp. So whatever happens tonight with this Bulls-Cavs game, we will be back tomorrow with a fresh episode to break it down for all of you in every which possible way. In the meantime, hit us up on Twitter. I'm at Bulls_Peck. Big Dave is at BAWL Sports. We are at Locked On Bulls. Shoot us an email or drop us a text or voicemail. LockedOnBulls@gmail.com. 331-979-1369 is that text and voicemail number. Big Dave, any last words?
I'm just excited, man. I shouldn't be this excited for a preseason game, but I'm excited to watch this preseason basketball game. Come on, Bulls fans. It's all right. It's all right to get excited, man. It's all right. Lowry, I hope you do your thing too. I hope Lowry does his thing, man. And Denzel, I hope you don't get injured.
Speaking of Denzel and Lowry, shout out to Joakim for putting that old funny Cleveland song on his Instagram the other day.
Yes, I saw that.
Sometimes Cleveland again. Joakim, love you forever and ever and ever.
He's awesome.
For Big Dave, awesome. I'm Matt. See Red, be good. Peace out, y'all.